Hello everyone, assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make this drawstring bag. For the outer part of the bag, I'll be using this fabric and it measures 11 by 12. So I've gone ahead and added my interfaces to the wrong side. So I have two of the fabric piece. So I'll be placing it right sides facing. I'll be sewing it on the two sides and the bottom part, leaving the top open. My lining piece is also the same dimension with the outer part, 11 by 12, and I'll be placing it right sides facing as well. And I'll be sewing the two sides and the bottom part and leaving the top open. I'll also leave an opening and 2-inch gap at the bottom to turn the fabric to the outside. So I'll go ahead to my sewing machine and sew on the three sides, leaving the top open. So I'm just pinning my two fabric pieces together, right sides facing. So I've sewn my lining piece together. I've also left a gap for turning at the bottom. For the drawstring part of the bag, I'll be making use of this fabric. I've got two of them and they measure 8 by 12 inches. So I've placed it right sides facing. I'll measure 2 inches from the top and make a mark, and on the other side I'll make a 2-inch mark. I'll start stitching from each mark downwards. I'll be leaving the top and bottom part open. So I've finished sewing and I've gone ahead to press open my seams on both sides. And my 2-inch gap still intact. But next I'll just sew down the sides of my stitch line for both sides of the fabric. So this is what it looks like. And this is my 2-inch opening at the top. So I'll do the same for the other side. So still working on the wrong side, I'll fold down 1/4 inch, then another 3/4 inch, and put clips to hold it in place. So I'll turn it to the other side and repeat. So fold down 1/4 inch, press, then fold 3/4 inch and clip in place. I'll just put a pin in place. So that will mark the place I'll be stitching on. So I'll just be stitching close to the bottom edge here. So this is what it looks like. I'll sew the other side now. And that's your 2-inch, the channel for your drawstring made. For my handle, I have 2 fabric pieces measuring 4 by 12 inches. So I've just folded the long side 1/4 inch in and folded into 2. I've also gone ahead and put interfacing onto the handle. I'll clip them together to hold it in place. I've also done the same for the other handle. So I'm going to sew down the 2 long sides only. So I've finished sewing my 2 handles. I'll be attaching it to the right side of my outer fabric later on. So I need to box the bottom of my outer piece. So line up the side and bottom seams. Put a pin in place. Repeat for the other side. So I'm going to measure 2 inches down from the top on both sides. So I'm going to sew along that. I'll repeat for the other side and sew on that line. When you've done that, you just trim your seam allowance to 1/4 inch on both sides. And that's it. And so I'll repeat the same process for the lining piece. So my lining is ready. So I'll attach my handles to the outer part of my outer piece. So I'll take one of the handles and place it on one side of the outer piece. Make sure the handles are not twisted. So I've placed my handles 2 inches away from each side of the outer piece. I'll turn it around and repeat for the other side. So make sure your handles are not twisted. I'll just use the other side as a guide for this side. I finished attaching my handles to the outer part of my bag. So I'll take all my other pieces and start to put the bag together. So with this piece, I've flipped it to the wrong side. So the wrong side is out. So I'll be putting my outer part, the outer part of my bag into the cover piece with the raw edges on the upper part. So I'll put it in. So I'm going to line up the raw edges. So I'll do my side. So I'll do the sides first and line up the pieces and clip in place. And do the other side, line up the side seams. Clip in place. So the right sides are facing one another and the raw edges at the top. So I'll clip this in place. For the lining, the wrong side is out, so I'll be placing the other two fabrics inside. I've clipped all the fabric pieces together at the top, so I'm just going to sew around the bag. So I'll push the cover for the drawstring in. So I'll just go ahead and sew around the top of the bag to hold the pieces in place. So I'm just pushing everything in. Next, I'll be putting my ribbons in. So I've got 2 of them, and I've attached a safety pin to one end. So I'm going to tie these ends together. And I'll attach the other ribbon. That's it, your drawstring bag is done. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you again next time. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.